A ketogenic diet is a great way to lose weight, but if you are only eating meat and cheese and you are ignoring the foods that feed your good gut bacteria, then you are potentially compromising your results. Hi, I'm Dr. Becky. I'm a college instructor of the science of nutrition.
And you know me, I'm Dr. Keith. I'm a chiropractor in private practice for the past 27 years now. And you're watching Two Fit Docs, where we turn weight loss resistance into weight loss results. Almost forgot my thing, yeah.
Well, and if you have been, if you don't know who this guy is, well, he has lost 80 pounds over the past year following a ketogenic diet and keeping plant foods in your diet.
Not just meat and cheese, although that's a great part of this diet.
You do enjoy that part.
I do enjoy it, but
Yeah.
I also enjoy the other parts. We follow the 0, 1, 2, 3 foundation for this plan too.
Right, which you guys can get from our starter kit. It's a great way to keep plant foods in. But
Right, so it's 0 sugar, 1 large salad every day, 2 cups of cooked vegetables, and then 3 hours before bed you stop eating. And that was always the foundation right from the start of what I was doing. And then with that, I was doing the ketogenic diet, which is a very low-carb, high-fat diet. We've talked about that many times. So I'm always getting, and the salad and vegetables are actually very good. I mean, I really like
yeah,
those.
it's an enjoyable part of the diet.
It is very enjoyable. I mean, you get to cook your vegetables in butter, your salads, you get, all the high-fat dressing, all that stuff. So they're very good. So about 10 years ago, we didn't know anything about this thing called the microbiome and gut health. Had you ever heard of that before a couple of years ago?
We certainly didn't hear about it in college, but that was,
No.
20 years ago.
Yeah, so it's kind of a new thing. And the microbiome, it all talks, it concerns your intestinal flora, what they call flora. And it is important for a healthy microbiome or healthy gut bacteria is important for everything from immunity to, not feeling bloated and uncomfortable after something you eat.
Yeah, so like who knew, right? That this thing was so important, like the bugs in your intestines were that important, but they really are. And also, it's really become an area of research that you see popping up everywhere, and specifically in how these bacteria living in your intestines help you with fat loss. Some of the things that they've come up with in their observational studies is that they've noticed that obese people have a much different microbiome, like this bacteria garden in their intestines than lean people do, and they've done this on many different groups of people, teenagers, obese teenagers compared to lean teenagers. I saw a study recently on twins. They did on lean twins and obese twins, and they show this repeatedly over and over again that the gut microbiome is different. There was also I was just talking the other day about there's a study done on mice. They took a group of mice, obese mice, and they actually performed gastric bypass surgery on these mice, right? So that's when you know that your research project has. It's like, how did I get to this place in my life?
That's when your parents are really proud that you've become a surgeon when you're operating on mice.
Yeah, putting gastric bypass on mice. But anyway, it was very interesting. And obviously the obese mice lost weight, but what they also noticed was that their gut microbiome changed from that of what they would expect to see in an obese mouse to that they would expect to see in a lean mouse. So it was intriguing enough that what they did then is they took the bacteria out of these mice after they had this gastric bypass surgery, and then they put that into this other group of mice that were kind of neutral. They were out of the study, and when they introduced those bacteria into their intestines, those mice rapidly lost weight. So it really shows us that there's got to be something. Right, there's got to be something.
Well, thank goodness they're doing this, because obese mice it's just a bad thing to have running around, right?
Right. We're hoping that will translate to people, but okay, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you are on a ketogenic diet, fats and proteins, we talk about them a lot, keeping those carbs down, but plant foods are carbs, and so we often can get a little bit too carried away and lose sight of that. So how do we follow a ketogenic diet and still keep feeding that gut microbiome?
Right, and so the point of this is that we are following this ketogenic diet but we also want to be healthy in the long run. There's no point in losing this weight if I'm not going to be healthy. I want to stick around for a long time now.
Absolutely.
Well, I wanted to stick around a
I
long
would
time
like
before
you to-
that too.
I would like you to stick around.
So there's a couple ways that you can help your microbiome, the gut bacteria, and those are using probiotics and prebiotics.
Right.
And the interesting thing is that you kind of, we mentioned this before, that you kind of think about your gut bacteria, your microbiome as a garden. So your probiotics, we're going to talk about a couple of them. Probiotics are kind of like the seeds, and the prebiotics are kind of like the fertilizer.
Right.
That is the food actually that you use to kind of help the microbiome.
Right. Yeah, so I think when we think about probiotics, we think about capsules like this. We also might think about yogurt, because that's often promoted as a probiotic, which it does contain those, like we talk about. You do have to watch with yogurts, because if you buy them off the shelf, a lot of times they're completely laden with sugar, added sugars. You probably need to find them at your health food aisle where you can get a full fat yogurt, but that is an option for getting probiotics.
Right, and you have to make sure that if you're doing that they do contain live culture.
Yes. Yeah. So taking a capsule for probiotics is probably a safer way to know that you are getting
Right.
probiotics. But even there, you have to pay attention to quality. Probiotics can have additives in them. They can actually have sugar. Why don't you show that?
It's one of the first ones we used. Came from CVS, and we didn't even think about looking on. We wanted to make sure that it had all the right bacteria in it, right? The cultures. We didn't even look at the ingredients. Maltodextrin, number one.
Right.
This thing is the first ingredient. The largest ingredient is sugar.
Sugar. Yeah. Yeah. So it seems unfair. You have to read every ingredient list.
And sugar is bad for your microbiome. I mean,
Exactly.
it could counteract a lot of what you're taking.
Right. It kind of feeds the weeds,
Right.
It feeds the
the
bad
weeds.
bacteria.
Yep.
So we have switched to Pure Encapsulations. Brand. We trust that brand. A couple of things that are good about it. First of all, it doesn't contain sugar, but also it contains 10 billion CFUs, or colony forming units, per capsule of many different strains of your healthy bacteria. So those are two things you want to look for. Lots of bacteria and many different strains. And you usually want to be in the range of about 20 billion CFUs to about 50 billion CFUs. So starting yourself off with 2 capsules of this would be a starting place.
Right.
We just get this off Amazon. There again, it's on our Amazon affiliate shop if you are interested in looking at that brand.
Right. So the other thing was prebiotics.
Right.
So prebiotics are kind of like the fertilizer for your garden, and we can talk a little bit more about that. It's a lot of your fermented foods, a lot of your green vegetables, leafy vegetables, those type of things. Fermented foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir. What's the tea? The kombucha. So those things actually.
Did you say sauerkraut? Because that's usually how we will get our fermented.
I think I did.
Okay.
But
All right.
that's one of my favorite meals. Actually,
I wasn't listening.
Yeah, sauerkraut and sausage, one of my favorite meals.
Yeah, we have a good recipe for that.
But that is kind of what is the food for those seeds that you're putting in,
Right.
to help them grow and help keep the weeds down.
Right. Yeah, and not just fermented, but having a salad every day, having those cooked vegetables with dinner, those are all going to be fibrous foods that feed those good bacteria. We should also mention fats and how they relate.
Right.
So they're, being on a ketogenic diet, fats are a very important part of your diet. There are some unhealthy fats, specifically some unhealthy oils that you do want to avoid, because they have been shown to harm the bacteria in your gut. Specifically, I'm talking about vegetable oils, soybean oil. Those are inflammatory omega-6 heavy oils, and they should be avoided. Certainly should not be cooked with. When we cook, we'll use coconut oil. MCT oil those have been shown to be beneficial fats for the gut microbiome. Also, your whole food fats, your nuts and seeds, avocados, good things to include in your daily diet,
Right.
so that you are sticking with your ketogenic rules, yet you are also feeding that gut microbiome, staying healthy, building your immune system, and probably, as we'll see as the years unfold with the research, helping your body burn fat. So, all right, good.
I think that's it. We've talked about the garden.
Alrighty. Hey, thanks so much for watching. We enjoy making these videos for you guys, and we hope that they have been beneficial. If you want to figure out a way to keep vegetables in your diet, please download our 0123 strategy. That is part of our starter kit, completely free and available to you. We'll leave some links here for you. Till next week, thanks for watching.
We'll see ya.